pretty fucking high-end new Mac, and I just did a search, and evidently there's some issue with some old software that may be slowing this thing down. I have this feeling I'm gonna spend 3 hours of my life today trying to troubleshoot it because it's brutal. Okay, we are live.
All right.
Hey, how are you, Joe?
Good. Welcome to the Jungle Essay.
Hey. So what's going on, man?
I was just on some calls earlier today. I haven't really looked at anything.
I'll tell you what, we're growing
in followers. I mean, listeners
and viewers and listeners. It's growing. It's like we've got episodes that have doubled some of my podcast episodes. Nice. We've got increasing number of live viewers on the video. It's so weird that this StreamYard will show that we only have like 1 or 2 people watching, and then the Twitter analytics and some other analytics I use show far more. And it's like so strange that it doesn't. I don't know if it only gets the feed from like Twitch or something, or what the hell the deal is. But anyway,
well, that's good.
It's growing every day, buddy. We got to thank all the people who listen and watch, who are sharing it and telling people about it, because that's why it's happening. So well, look, it's awesome.
It's so much fun. I mean, I have to say, I enjoy it because it's unfiltered. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
In most of my career, I've had to go into meetings and just sort of say what I think people want to hear, basically. And here I just say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Yeah.
And I like that. But I think we bring a lot of value too. And just kind of going macro all the way down to say tactical, or strategic to tactical, and trying to weave some themes in, and then bring in all of our cool stuff. I mean, I was watching some Bloomberg this morning, and there's a bunch of crypto stuff on the Hill, and it was pretty much wall-to-wall coverage on Bloomberg, and people talking and everything from CryptoPunk, NFTs. Why are they priced differently? If the white males are priced a little higher, and the women and people of color are priced lower. But then I looked at it, and it was like, okay, the white males are going, or the lighter skin is going for like 99 ETH. The women and say people of color NFTs are going for 95 ETH. So I'm like, it's a difference, but it's not that big of a difference. So
and you look, I mean, you have to you have to consider it's a supply and demand thing. And look, there's a large number of white males in crypto.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's and they're gonna probably be more attracted to ones that look like them. So I think that's probably the nature of it, right?
Dude, you should have written the show. I mean, that's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was all. But my point is just that I see so much good stuff being talked about, and I guess what I'm really trying to get to is that when they had the guy Jeremy Allaire from Circle, which was kind of interesting. I didn't realize he was involved with Macromedia. You remember I was working with Allen's out in Minnesota.
Cold Fusion and Macromedia and all that. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff that Michael Allen invented.
Right.
I was working with up till a couple of months ago, and but I didn't know that. But so he was talking about Circle. So I think about what's going on in the space, and as mainstreamers start pouring in, they're looking at NFTs. They're focused on stable coins and Bitcoin and ETH. They're not even near ready to hear what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? So the people that we're talking to, they've already been in for a while and they get it. So, we're kind of in like DeFi 3.0, 4.0, wherever we are. And everybody else is back talking about BTC and stable coins.
Right.
And a little bit of NFT. So I think that's where we're getting a lot of the listener growth, is people that want to hear about that.
Yep.
And so, with that, I guess I'll just start with a little bit of the macro stuff first.
Okay.
Look, my feeling right now, and I just looked, I think we're at like 47 on BTC, and
I've got 30. That Kingfisher screen loaded.
Yeah. Okay. So we're like at almost 47 on BTC, 3,800 and ETH. There's so much negativity out there right now that I kind of think it's going to go the other way, is my call. Like, I think tomorrow when the Fed talks about tapering, which seems to be what everybody's focused on, that I think they've already priced in the most draconian situation possible. And we know it has to happen. I
Right.
mean, the stock market is way overvalued.
Yep.
How much that's coupled to BTC these days, I don't really know. I think we'll find out tomorrow. But a lot of people are saying this might be a buy the news event. Like, let's say everybody thinks the Fed's going to aggressively taper, which I don't see that happening because that's like sticking a gun in your mouth. They're going to do something longer and just say, look, we're starting, but maybe everybody's expecting 6 months till we stop buying, or 12 months. I could see it being longer. If you want to keep the market stable, you say, okay, we're going to start tapering and wind this down over the next 24 months.
Right.
And everybody's expecting 3 to 6, maybe 12. And then everybody's like, holy shit, the party's still going, but we're going to get it together. So I take that and I look at a couple of things. One, I look at this Kingfisher chart, and we look at all those shorts piled up there right over the price. I mean,
right.
If there's not a short, that doesn't look like a short squeeze to everyone else. I don't know what they're looking at. But to me, I think it's going to rip through that tomorrow, and we're going to go off on a night. Now, I could be wrong. This is just my opinion.
Is not financial advice.
Yeah. But I think we're so negative. Everybody's so on the precipice feeling that any little bit of good news is going to rip.
Yeah.
And then I look at, again, what I was talking about yesterday, just the amount of trading going on over the counter amongst the investment banks and the investment houses is not tracked in any of this.
Right.
And I'm hearing that there's monstrous quantities being bought and sold in the dark pools, in OTC, where they're finding buyers for. And I've also heard there's a whole bunch of exotic derivative securities out there that we don't even know about, that they're moving around in these, $1 trillion portfolios to eke out a little bit of yield to cover up all their negative yield stuff.
Right.
So I look at this, the other one I sent, the Twitter one, I don't know who this person is, but it's showing the longs on Finex, and you see it. Yeah, that one. You see that growth there. I mean, the BTC longs are accumulating like crazy, skyrocketing, as they say, and it's broken all-time high. There's more people long on this than there ever have been.
Yeah.
So that tells me that the people who know, the people who have been accumulating all the BTC in the dark pools or peer-to-peer OTC, that, they're setting this up for a move.
Yeah.
So I look at that. I look at the Kingfisher data. To me, I don't know. I'm just very, very contrary to what.
That's awesome. Well, the greed and fear index is at extreme fear, a 21.
Yeah.
So, you may be right. Like, it's all this pent up fear. And if they see a turn, you're right. It could blow straight through because everybody's like, oh, fuck yeah, and dives in, and that very well could happen. Now, we've had a couple of little pumps in the last, few days that made it seem like it might be trying to recover, but none of them were hard. None of them were like, this is moving fast. So I think you're right that it's possible that any little impetus, any little, hard, fast pump of the price may just blow it right out.
But look at like that first little trough on the left side of that chart. That corresponds, I think, to July. Okay, so the first downward slope going in is June, July.
Right.
So obviously, when it bottoms out there, that's around July 15th, and it starts going up. But look at the long positions down below it. While it's going up, there's like nothing there hard.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we come to the next little, I'm guessing that's September, the next little downslope. And then all of a sudden we go into Pumptober. But look, man, there's like not a ton of longs. I think that was a big triple witching kind of day where a lot of stuff expired, while you see that little drop, but then nothing. And now when it's sliding down in, December, late November, December timeframe, you see all these longs piling in big time.
Yeah.
So to me,
I love this convergence here of these peaks hitting, this peak hitting, and this dump coming down. I do think makes a ton of sense.
There's something going on, and it's just my feeling looking at everything, and as we talked before, I try to go opposite of what my instinct says a lot in this, just because you typically can get a little nervous when you see this stuff dropping,
right?
And so that's why sometimes I'm trying to trim a little on the way up. So then when it's dropping, I could be like, okay, I kind of want it to drop further because then I'm going to come back in.
Sure.
So I've tried to kind of get those emotions under control. and think about it. But everything I'm seeing now between this data and the data and your guys in the material indicator stuff and, everything in the other charts, I don't know, man. I'm feeling like we could all be surprised.
Nice. I like your vision.
I hope so. I hope I'm right.
Yeah.
But, it's
if I was religious, I'd say from your mouth to God's ears, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I'm not. And also, again, I'm not an all-in guy either.
Right.
I don't go 100% on anything.
Shit's on sale right now. I mean, like in the DeFi space, fucking time was down to 3,500 earlier. I got to take a look and see where it is right now. But like that's at 81,000% APY. Me personally, I'm buying because that's just it was down 20% earlier today on the 24 hours. Oh shit, it's down to 3,026.
Which one?
Time.
Oh yeah, I've been watching that go too.
Fuck that, man. People are, let's see I wonder if the APY has gone up on that.
Well, that's, look at, I talk a lot about Unis DAO, and I saw what they did yesterday. They hiked their APY to 5 billion%.
Yeah. I had that loaded up.
Yeah. I mean, but look, it's down, I'd say like the couple of billion range, but their thinking is that,
wait, what chain is Unis on? I forgot.
Binance Smart Chain. BSC.
Okay.
Is like, let's attract people,
right.
We see what's going on in time, and, Snowbank seems to be holding around in the 450 range. Olympus and Klima seem to have a little bit of life in them.
Yeah.
But then they take a little tiny haircut. But these early ones like this, these guys are the ones that have the NFT mint on Friday for that spice mining game that they're doing. So they're, they got GameFi, they got NFTs. It's small. But, I just started putting stuff in it when it came out. I think I got in it at like I don't know what the lowest rate is, at 1.0 index, I don't know. I got in there. And, look, this is you're getting 4.5% a day, basically.
Right.
4 point.
That's insane.
More than that, 4.75, it looks like. 26.5 in 5 days. So, it's clocking like, multiple UDO tokens a day for me automatically. So I have, got a bonding rate. I think they're, bonding is going out at a discount of about 20% when I looked at it this morning for BUSD and USDT bonding. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer if you like these rebase ones and these staking platforms or Olympus type platforms.
Right.
So, I thought I would share that with you. I know we're always looking for degen yield, and I think
let's see what Trading Edge put a comment in. To see a strong rebound, we see more negative interest funding rates than on a bounce. We get some strong short covering.
Yeah, so I think what he's saying is that that covering is what causes the squeeze,
right?
Because then they're buying,
right,
at that point. So funding rates are another interesting angle that we don't talk enough about. I know there's a lot of metrics out there on it. I just quite never get to it, but we need to weave that more into
you know what? I should load up, next show I'll load up some of the dashboard stuff in material indicators that shows some of that stuff.
Yeah, we should take a look at it, because I think that's another good indicator of what's there, to do something with. So good point, Trading Edge. But, look, so when we talk about degen stuff, I mean, this, I don't know what it's at right now, but I'm sure it's still in the 2 billions, and they're going to be holding it there. And then you got the NFT mint on Friday. So,
right.
I mean, I added some 5 days ago. I bonded some or minted some, and, just claimed and restaked that yesterday. So I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
But, everybody, of course, do your own research, and who the hell knows what can happen. But, I keep looking at something like this and I go, shit, if this gets to like levels of, any of these other ones, the amount you have, it's kind of like starting in, if you were in Ohm at the beginning, let's say, or Klima or any of those, and then all of a sudden, I mean, right, of course, they're all down right now, but, those were at 2,500, 1,200.
Right. Well, I'm going to DCA these fuckers. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the rebase, I'd expect that everybody's going to probably increase yield on all the rebasing ones. Just
Yeah, I mean, look at
because-
Wonderland Times up to, I mean, just naturally they increased the APY. Wonderland Times up from earlier today at 81,000% is now at 90,000%. Like they're just handing me money.
Yeah.
2%, you know, it's almost 2% a day ROI on a strong project with a strong project lead. So it's like, go ahead, people, just keep handing me money.
Yeah. Well, and also look, what I
It's
like about
what the
these,
fuck?
you know, one of the things that I've always had a hard time in crypto is, you know, with stocks and everything, you know, I was always more of a, you know, dump it, invest and forget. And not, you know, I had told stories about when back in the day, you know, be in Europe and you'd be looking for an International Herald Tribune to get a stock price or whatever. And you're like, oh, it's up $1, you know, or, oh, it's down $1. Oh, wow. You know, whatever. That was where it was. Now it's so real time that in equities, you can do that. You know, I don't do it anymore. I used to do a lot of option trading on Ameritrade with different ones. And that's kind of the closest to crypto.
Right.
And so then you start trading crypto on, you know, either the centralized exchanges or wherever you want to do it. And, you know, it's 24/7, 365. So you're in it constantly.
Yeah.
And, you know, it wears you out.
Yeah.
And then so then these rebase tokens, what I like is I feel like we're kind of back to where you can just invest and forget it. And, you know, I really feel like I could walk away from these and come back and look at them in 6 months. And you're either going to be really, really up or you're going to be down.
Yeah.
One or the other. But, you know, that's the game. You know, you can kind of like go, okay, now it's all execution risk at this point. This is just going to keep compounding at 2.5% a day. I'm going to have a shitload of these things. And if these guys can pull off the execution, you know, I'm going to make a ton of money.
Hell yeah.
If they don't, well, they don't. And that's why you go into 10 of them.
Right.
And
Exactly.
somebody does it. And you don't go in with like 100 grand into one. You go in 10 grand into, well, preferably, you know, 2,500 or so into 10 of them. And then if you see when the bond or minting rates go to big discounts to your favor, then you mint with another 25%.
Right.
Or if it's going down and the bond yields are negative, then you buy spot, you know, and you add there. So, I mean, that's the only thing you really have to do in these.
Yep.
You don't have to sit there and go, oh shit, you know, Loop Ring's up 25%. Let's sell it, you know, or, you know, Acropolis or Anchor. I mean, go down the list of everything that I've looked at this year, and you're trying to figure them all out. And at the end, you can't really figure out what any of them are really trying to do.
Yeah.
But in this thing, you can actually take flyers and hope for execution.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the nice thing is you're printing. Like, you know, I told you about that investment that was, despite the price being down 33%, because we're printing tokens, was up, you know, 14 grand. So it's like there's the dynamics here allow you to rest a little easier, especially if you think that the project has good people behind it.
Yeah. And, you know, in a lot of these DAOs, you don't know who anybody is, of course. You know, some are doxed, a lot aren't.
Right.
But to me, they're all forking Olympus code, basically. So,
of course,
you know, you can look at the code on GitHub if you're doing that type of due diligence, and you can kind of see everything. So it's a trust the math thing and hope that they can execute.
Yep.
You know, which is what you do in a Series A raise.
That's right.
You know, when you're writing 25 grand check to a Series A that's going to go do whatever, you know, you can't pull that money out. It's locked up. You're never going to get it back unless they have a liquidity event.
Exactly.
And, you know, get bought or go public. And so if you bet 10 Series A's, I mean, the odds of, you know, you're probably going to have 1 or 2 that actually work. Probably, I mean, the odds are like none of them are going to go public, but, you know, maybe it would be like, you know, if there was 40, maybe 1 would go public. In Series A, because the VCs have already anointed all the big ones that are going to go public. So if you're buying Series A, convertible preferred or something, that means all the VCs have already passed. So,
exactly.
So it's like, you're the sucker money, doctors and lawyers out there. So I don't do any of that anymore, just because I think it's, you know, you can take on less risk in crypto and get much higher returns and be able to pull the plug anytime you want.
Exactly.
And, you know, so I think you do 10 of these, like we just talked about. I think you're going to have a couple of home runs in there. I think 1 will rug, 2 or 3 will not perform, and a couple of medium ones, and probably 2 to 3 really good ones, and maybe
Yeah.
one super home run.
Yeah.
But that means getting in early. That means playing the game and staying in it and buying dips and minting and doing all those things.
Yeah.
And
Like I'm yeah, and I'm not freaking out on these dips. I'm like,
not
I don't
either.
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck would I?
I mean, when I'm like sitting there with 20 things going on in Binance or not, but anywhere, any central exchange, let's say that you can do that stuff in, you know, you see 30 moving things and you're trying to evaluate when to buy and sell all of them.
Yep.
And, you know, you got every single deal in your head until it's about ready to explode. Trying to do analysis, can they execute, blah, 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 blah. And then trying to make sure, you know, the alerts are going off at 2 saying, you know, matrix swap up 25%. So you're rushing in there to sell half the position, you know, just because why not? You know, you can't do that long.
No.
I mean, there's a reason Wall Street traders that show up when they're 20, 21, 22, they burn out in like 2 to 3 years.
Of course, because it's constant, frenetic, crazy, stress-based shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with these, I just don't, I mean, it was funny. I was looking at all this and I'm going, why the hell do I not even care? You know? And then I started looking at it. Of course, all the shit I'm still in is down, you know, not even the rebate stuff is down, but that still gets added. The other stuff, nothing adds.
Yeah.
So, you know, then you're trying to see, well, fuck, how many DEXs can there really be? Can we really have 5,000 DEXs? I think the answer to that is no.
Sure.
You know, so you kind of go, why am I holding that token? You know, or so you just either farm it and sell it to do something else with it, which is fine, you know, or you believe in it. And I don't kind of believe in those, a lot of that stuff anymore. But these rebase ones, I kind of go, no matter what, you're going to get more. Market holds together. You're going to end up with a lot of money.
Yeah, and as long as the project keeps delivering and cranking and moving, you're gold. You're gold. So
what's this article?
So this is interesting. I didn't see this, but I thought we had talked about the Spice DAO before. But I guess I didn't dive into it. But
wait, this was Unis? Well, Unis DAO has the Spice mining thing, and they're kind of mimicking the Dune setup.
So this is a group that created this DAO to buy a Dune film that never was released because the studios thought it was too much, just too over the top, right? So let me find the paragraph I was looking at. Spice DAO, a network of Dune-loving cryptocurrency enthusiasts, most who have never hatched the plan to liberate the sacred volume from private ownership and make it available in some form or another to all the obsessives who've long dreamt of flipping through its pages. So I guess it's a book, and it was never made into a movie, but I guess the book didn't get released. Let's actually...
So it must have been
I thought it was a movie. Hold on.
There were like 2 books, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I read them when I was a kid.
Described as the coming of God. His plans to turn Frank Herbert's sci-fi classic Dune into one of the most ambitious films ever made. He assembled a phalanx of celebrated artists, visual effects experts, illustrators, and designers. Pink Floyd agreed to do the music. Salvador Dali would play the Emperor of the Universe for a fee of $100,000 per minute of screen time. Orson Welles was to play the evil Baron Harkonnen, I can't remember anything about this, and even Mick Jagger signed on. Printed 20 luxurious volumes to sell it to Hollywood studios, detailing the screenplay illustrations and designs. The studios passed, and his film was never made. Dune, the novel, has been adapted twice. Over time, the Bibles, which attained almost religious status among reverential scholars and sci-fi obsessives, vanished from the public eye. Until this November, when number 5 came up for auction at Christie's, appraisers thought it would sell for about $40,000. The winning bid was $2.9 million.
Wow.
This isn't pretty much my entire liquid net worth, said the buyer, Sakib. But I fronted the $3 million knowing the community has my back. Holy shit. So he bought it for the DAO with his own money. Wow.
Yeah, no, see, I love stories like that. Now, I don't know. I mean, I remember reading the original Dune book, and it was great. And the second one wasn't that great. But the first one was really, really cool, if I remember correctly. You know, this is back before internet and content everywhere and all of this, you know, so we had to kind of build the visuals in our head.
Yeah.
You know, it was abstract visualization. We didn't see it on a screen.
Yeah.
And so, you know, look at stuff like that. It was so vibrant, and you could, you know, the world that metaverse is in your head when you read the book. And, that's what I think everybody kind of really likes better than actually just having it spoon-fed to you in a visual way on your device.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the experience. Abstract visualization in the mind takes you to another reality, or another dream-like reality.
So it looks like he made a storyboard of the book, a flip book almost.
Oh,
and that's what this guy bought. Okay, helps to actually read it before you bring it up live, but whatever. Look at the art. No. That's fucking awesome.
No, it's totally cool. So what happened though? I mean, there was a Dune movie made. I kind of saw it.
Right. No, this was for the second book. Okay. The Dune movie's been made twice.
Twice now, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to go see the new one. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. I did see House of Gucci the other day, and it was okay. But I'm looking, after the James Bond movie before that, I'm kind of looking for something a little more, I don't know what, otherworldly maybe or something.
Okay, so here it is. Fun. So he created this book to sell the concept of a better adaptation of Dune. And it was so over the top that the studios wouldn't make it. But this book and this vision he had for what the movie was going to be like is what the DAO bought.
Do you know what year this is?
Yeah, it says I just 80. Oh no, that was the movie that was released. I don't know if it does say. Hold on.
Well, no, I was just trying. So it was after Star Wars.
Pink Floyd. So it must have been.
Star Wars was 76, right? The first one.
Yes.
70. Yeah, and that was like I remember when that came out. That was just mind blowing because there had been nothing like that before.
Yeah. 1970.
Oh, that's this book?
Yep.
Oh shit! So that's before Star Wars.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Wow, that is pretty cool. I don't know how they would have pulled the special effects off, though. When you look at, you look at the Star Wars one now, it's kind of like, you're like, oh, wow.
Okay, so this DAO bought this book, but it's like, I guess they'll digitize the pages. So everybody that's part of the DAO can have them probably in an NFT form, but it's interesting. I'm going to read the rest of this. Anyway, very cool.
Yeah. No, that is a good little anecdote.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Hold on. I have no idea why this is open.
No, it's like, congratulations.
Oh, this is shit I want to read.
You're now a premium member of Pornhub.
I went off on. So I went off on Democrats today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sick of them.
Who are you just bitching about now?
Fucking sick of them. I'm bitching because the Senate Banking and Housing Democrats before the committee meeting fucking go off about how essentially they have to stop stable coins from destroying the world, and I'm just over it. I've been a Democrat my entire life, essentially at birth because my parents were 56 years, and I'm just done. I'm just done with stupid. I'm done with the extreme left controlling the narrative. I'm just done. We elected a centrist to be the party's nominee. And instead of people like being reasonable and just doing the fucking research on crypto, it just pisses me off. I'm a Democrat because I always felt like Democrats, no matter how many flaws and faults they had, they gave a shit about the little guy. And I just don't think they're even curious enough to figure out what this can do for the little guy. And I think look, I'm disgusted with Congress in general right now because, nothing actually gets decided and debated and discussed anymore. It's all, the speaker, majority leader, they decide what is and is not voted on. And then they hand it to people to vote on, 2 hours before the vote, and it's 700-page bill. So the whole system's fucked up. So anyway, I was a big supporter, as you know, of Andrew Yang during the primaries. Mm-hmm. And I believe that UBI has potential. I think we can do it with DeFi, but that wasn't the primary reason I supported him. The reason I supported him was he had well over 100 policies. And even though I disagreed potentially on, several of them, all of them were practical. All of them applied data and learning that we had done, science-based, data-based, whatever, to solve problems. They weren't ideological. They weren't ever based on, oh, I'm a Democrat, so I got to say this. And that's what. So I disagree with some of the things the Forward Party's doing, the party he's formed. I'm not excited about fracturing votes. I don't think he's going to have that impact with this party, but I think it's time to send a message to the people that are in charge. So.
I'll say one other thing on that, the problem now is that, in the olden days, I don't know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, you didn't hear all this shit. You only saw the end product, and it was the compromise product. Right now, everybody lighting up social media on both sides. It's like they're thinking out loud, and they're just saying shit that, of course, they don't really know a lot of what they're talking about in this case in particular. So we see this announcement, but we don't. So we see kind of the sausage making process, not the sausage.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that's really wrong with this, because everybody either loves it or hates it on both sides. And I mean, you see the polling data. Is America going in the right direction? It's like, I think 80% of the people say no. And, so that's like, 40% of the Democrats say no because they're not getting everything they want. And 40% of the Republicans say no because they're not getting what they want. When in reality, that's not the question to ask. The question to ask is something along, what should America be doing now, to improve your daily life? Things like that, instead of everybody sensationalizing to get donations.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's just grifting everybody for money right now. And
look, that's how the process works, right? And look, as voters, we're to blame too. So I want to make something very clear. Most of us don't do the fucking work. We don't take this responsibility seriously. And that's the other problem. 94% of incumbents will win re-election no matter what. 94%.
Well, yeah, and it's all gerrymandered up like crazy.
It's gerrymandered like hell. We let them do it. We don't care because it serves our interest. As identifying as a Democrat or a Republican, and so and everything is decided in primaries. And so the most extreme members of each party control all of what the ultimately elected officials are, except for in the Democrats' case, the presidential nominee. But in terms of congressional and Senate elections, these candidates have to go extreme in order to get the nomination.
Yeah, they got to survive the primary.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's just fucked up. So,
but I think they're all talking about stable coins, and at this point, and you could just see how none of them really get it. And I get some of the stable coin issues. I mean, I look at USDT and I go, what?
Well, I would like to get rid of USDT and USDC entirely from DeFi. Right? I don't want centralized shit. I want algorithmic shit. Trading Edge says they threw Magic Internet Money and Abracadabra under the bus during the hearing. I got to see that.
I mean, so they picked those because of the name. It's like, oh, what's this? Magic Internet Money and Abracadabra? Poof. It's like, so they go after it because of the name. And
so is that why time is dumping today? It must be.
Probably.
That's even better. Oh.
But look, that's
buy it out of spite.
Yeah. So, or I mean, look, it's, I mean, again, I've talked to some of the treasury guys in the past that are on the fringe of, it's the currency people, the foreign currency, where the dollar meets up with other currencies and what happens at that interface. And, they look at the stable coins as being like that, like another currency. And so why they are all up on USDT right now is, one, they don't really understand the mechanisms. And they also, talk a lot about money laundering and things. And, they don't really understand that you can't really show up with a dump truck of dirty money and get USDT. Then you don't cash out from USDT. You usually cash out into dollars with something else. So they don't get all of that. But I do get their concern. And, particularly when you see all the stuff come out about USDT and where it is, and, how does this happen? And how is it $65 billion or something like that worth of it? But, I think they don't really understand it. So, and I also think a lot of it is setting up everybody for sovereign central bank coins. whether it's US dollars or it's euros or it's yen or it's, RMB. I think that's going in that direction too. So I'm just glad that everybody's talking about it now. Of course, it sounds like a lot of nonsense to us, but
Yeah.
outside of our bubble, I mean, I tell you, I run into guys all the time that just jump into crypto now with big money and they buy a nice diversified basket. And I'm like, well, what do your friends think? And they think my friends think I'm crazy. And so I'm like, shit, everybody I know is in crypto.
Yeah.
And all these other people don't know anybody in it.
Yeah.
So just like the political divide, there's this huge divide between crypto knowledge and not.
Here's what's really interesting, right? So a wealthy man older than me, probably mid 70s.
Barely older than you.
Oh, you're an asshole. So asked me, I saw him yesterday in my neighborhood, and he asked me for help getting into crypto. And I said, why do you want to get in crypto? He goes, because I'm getting fucked with inflation and Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? They're the only things that can save me. And I was like, well, I'm not going to tell you they're the only things that can save you, but I can definitely tell you they're better than the US dollar. And he's like, look, I got to keep paying. I got to keep my cash flow for my wife and me to keep living. I mean, he has a lot of money, but he wants to keep the value of his money for himself and for his kids. And that to me was like, wow, okay, wait a minute. If this guy's asking me, this pressure from an inflationary perspective is growing, and more and more is coming.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I mean, we talk about this a lot, that if you just look about the amount of, say, deficit spending or printing, we'll say printing over the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, it's like we've doubled the amount of dollars out there essentially.
Yeah.
And, again, just think about if GE doubles the amount of shares, what happens? The share price gets cut in half, basically.
Yeah.
Unless there's another reason for it that is related to more cash flow. So if you think about dollars, putting them in the bank and holding them there and getting I don't even know what banks are paying. It's less than 1%, I'm sure, or 1% or 0.5%. And at the same time, it's devalued 50% over the last couple of years. I mean, the math is pretty easy on that one, everyone. You're losing money. And then toss inflation on top of it, which I think is, there is another argument with inflation that's the only way you get rid of the national debt is you inflate it away. I don't know what kind of chaos that would cause, but even if that's not the situation, then the inflation we see in food prices and everything, it's also devaluing the value of that currency because you can't buy as much. So,
right.
You go to gold. I mean, we know what gold is. Gold, you got a bunch of Kruger ants sitting in your bedroom safe, and it's, what you're going to go out the door with if you're a TradeFi person to try to get to whatever safe haven you're trying to get to. But crypto is the same thing, but better because you earn yield, it goes up in value, all of those things. So I think, this is what I'm also excited about tomorrow with the FOMC meeting is I'm waiting for when does Bitcoin really decouple from, when does it become the counter equity play, as in, a hedge against equity devaluation, let's say, like people use gold for, or people use diamonds. I think it's sooner rather than later that they're going to look at Bitcoin the same way.
I think people are already doing that. I mean,
we do, but I don't know. I mean, I got to think these bankers are, if you're out buying, you saw the positions, how much is people are trying to buy. I mean, they must be thinking that too.
Yeah.
So
hey, I'm going to play let me switch my sound up here. I'm going to play the clip from the Senate today about agriculture. All right, let me see if this is going to work. They need to figure out how to fucking stream something from a web page for a StreamYard.
Stable coins, a particular type of cryptocurrency whose value is managed by a single company. These include, as you know, Tether, Circle, and Abracadabra, a fast-growing scheme that makes magic internet money. That's their words, not mine. What could possibly go wrong with something that claims to make magic money? Stable coins are
So they're trying to level. I don't know if everybody can.
Kind of getting a lot of distortion right now from you.
Okay.
A lot of white noisy sound and stuff. But yeah, to your point, as we said, okay, we got more.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, like,
You're right,
I mean,
leading
look, the bottom line is they loved going after that brand. Of course, he used the example of USDT being controlled by one company and failed to mention that Magic Internet Money is an algorithmic stablecoin, which tells you everything you need to fucking know about how unprepared and the lack of knowledge these idiots have that are supposedly running our country. So
supposedly is the correct term, but also, look, it's opportunity for us too. So while all of these people are looking at Bitcoin and trying to figure that out, or stable coins, DeFi just keeps pushing out to the innovative edge. And
that's right.
That's where all the alpha is created.
Yep.
So, let them kind of be distracted over here while we're over minting tons of bank over here. And then the financial institutions get it. You don't see them up there going, oh, this is all a sham and this and that, and we should be concerned. They're just kind of like, well, maybe Jamie Dimon and all those top dogs are like, well, truth be known, I don't really understand it that much, but my guys are making a ton of money off of it. So
exactly.
So they're not bitching about it because they look at them, they're trying to figure out how to absorb it.
Yep.
But they'll never get to this where we're talking about. I mean, that's still 3 to 5 years out. And by then we'll be to DeFi 8.0.
Exactly.
So let them come around and clean up, the Hill and everybody clean up yesterday's news. So 2018 is what I want to say. And pick on the names and, because, it's kind of like, I mean, I have trouble with some of the names myself, but, and I've talked about that with like Spooky Swap and all of those, but, I get why the names are that way because it's appealing to a different audience. It's not appealing to, the conservative money manager person who's looking for stability. It's appealing to the people that want to see the interest rates and it's fun and it's happy. It's not like, all boring ass old stuff. And, so I think that, look who's on the Hill. What's the average age of those congressmen? I mean, it's got to be 60 plus.
Oh, no, I think it's closer to 70.
Okay. So, I mean,
actually Congress is lower. Congress is 59, I think. House is 59.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Senate's probably like
Senate's much higher.
Yeah,
much higher.
But they're the elder statesmen, I guess. But it's like, look, if you're not a finance person or an economics person, and most of them are not, because they're, I guess, some are accountants, as we've discussed before, but to me, accountants are like, they're going to tell you why the train wrecked, but finance guys tell you how fast the train can go without wrecking. Yeah. And so to me, it's great to have 20/20 hindsight like most accountants do, but the real magic is in being able to see how fast you can increase velocity of capital and cash flow without tanking the whole play. And so they're never going to get there. And it's frustrating to hear what they have to say. But again, I think, at least they're talking about it. And, we'll see how it turns out in 10 years. So
look, at the end of the day, I just bought some more time at a discount. Thank you, Senator Sherrod Brown.
What is it at right now? What is it at?
2,800.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shoot. Sorry, I'm trying to tone down.
Are you worried about your language, Joe?
I don't know, man. I just, I was talking to those guys.
I'll pick up the slack for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was talking to those guys at El Salvador that are doing the real estate development with NFT kind of thing. And, I'm like, oh, yeah, you should check out our DeFi lunch broadcast. And I started thinking, we do use a lot of profanity and I do kind of talk this way in general, but I started thinking that, I was watching like a Bloomberg and somebody said bullshit. And then the other reporter said, oh yeah, there is a technical term right there. And they didn't even bleep it out anymore. So I guess we could say whatever we want.
Yes, we can say whatever the fuck we want, Joe.
I think so. I just think when all the big institutional guys come and, they're like, who are these crazy motherfuckers? Yeah, look at time, man. You're right, dude. That's like.
So Trading Edge said the U.S. lost control of the U.S. euro dollar system. I think these new stable coins are not that dissimilar, aka a shadow/unregulated banking system. I absolutely agree with you when it comes to USDC and USDT. When it comes to the algorithmic coins, I'd rather make my bet on an algorithm than humans at USDC that can blacklist wallets. So they have essentially the ability to shut down DeFi, yet people keep building products using USDC, which I just don't understand. If you're a project founder, get the fuck out of USDC. If you care about the future of DeFi, it is centralized, it is controllable, and it can, if Congress chooses, destroy a huge segment of DeFi with one law. So get out of USDC. It is shit. Get out of USDT because they are proven that they can't be trusted. So, and they're centralized as well. So all it takes is somebody saying, hey guys, you're going to prison. Guess what? They're going to take action. We can't have this shit. We cannot have it. We have to be decentralized. If we're going to do this, we got to fit the name, and we got to stop buying into the corporate centralized bullshit that can control it. The whole idea is they can't control it. So,
well, yeah, I saw Allaire on TV this morning, or Bloomberg or wherever it was, but maybe CNN, and they're going for a federal bank charter. So
yeah, of course, that's the look. He's all in for the. He just wants to be the U.S. dollar, and he wants to let them know that they can control it. He doesn't give a shit. He wants the big money. He wants to be one of the Fed boys. He could care less about decentralization.
Yeah, he doesn't, because he has to conform. If he's going to be under Fed oversight, then all of a sudden, all the KYC, Patriot Act, anti-money laundering, all of that stuff, he has to really toe the line there.
I had some PR person. I get these out, people trying to pitch their founder for a show, and I got one from some guy who's like in my most hated category, which is a central digital currency player, and he's a consultant to countries to implement these currencies. And she sent me this message saying, oh, he's cryptocurrency and CDBC and blah 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 blah. And I said, look, you don't want him to come on my show because it won't go well. It's just not going to be what he wants. It's going to be me attacking him. And I don't attack people on my podcast, but that guy, I'm going to tear up. I'm happy to have the discussion and have him try to make his case, but it's not going to be what the PR person wants from it. It's not going to be, let me promote this guy and say how great centralized digital currencies are. They're not. That's the whole reason I'm in this industry.
Why would he come on a Mission DeFi show?
Yeah, I don't.
To talk about centralized.
That's what I was trying to tell her. You're pitching to the wrong end. You're pitching to the wrong podcast. She's like, well, it would still be an interesting discussion. I said, won't be much of a discussion because I don't see how we can defend any of it to somebody who's like religiously into DeFi. What do you think you gain there? You gain nothing. So
yeah, look, certain people have certain mindset where they, grow up in the banking world, and so they think it's the the one true salvation or something, and that's their whole perspective, and they can't see the forest for the trees, basically.
Yeah.
And then you see what's going on, everybody post 2008, particularly in the U.S. and overseas as well. They're going to different models.
Yep.
They're sick of that centralized control of wealth.
Yeah.
And that's where all this decentralization comes from. So, when we're talking about whether something's a centralized project or decentralized, not much is actually truly decentralized. I mean, completely decentralized, but a lot of it is a lot decentralized. And that just means that someone can't just arbitrarily say, oops, you had $100 in your bank account. Well, we got to adjust that shit because of the economy. You only got 50. This is where people
have you seen inflation? We really got to cut you got too much in there.
You're gonna have to take one for the team here. Everybody's taking a 50% haircut.
You've got 30 days to spend it or burn it.
But of course, all the high-end wealth managers have already told all their clients about that shit.
Yeah.
And so they've moved their money out first.
Yeah.
So they're only taking the money from the little guys. I mean, this is what I saw. I'm going to go back a little bit here, but when the Mexican peso was devalued, I want to say in the maybe early 90s.
Yeah.
All the, somebody in the U.S. or wherever banks told all the super wealthy Mexican families that it was coming. They moved all their money out into dollars. Now, this is before internet, before crypto, so they had to physically do it. And then they devalued the peso, I think 13-1. I guess this was like 95-ish, somewhere around there. And then they came back and bought pesos with all those dollars again.
Yeah.
So they 13x their stack.
Yeah.
And on, hey, we got to do this, but we're just going to fuck all the little guys. And, I hang with anybody. I can deal with anybody, but I do consider myself a man of the people. And I think it's just not sustainable to do that continuously.
Exactly.
Or you're going to have the barbarians at the gate ready to burn everything down.
Exactly.
And, that is strategic to me. That is national security, whatever country you're in.
I want to send a big thank you out to Senator Brown and all of the idiots dumping time who thinks that, the SEC is going to come shut down time, because we're now up to 92,271% APY. Just keep making me money, people. Just
Trading Edge is telling us that Danielle Sesta is doing an AMA in an hour and a half about sushi swap proposal, Wonderland and Popsicle.
Yeah, he was yesterday. He's trying to jump into the disorder that's happening at Sushi Swap. I've actually had, I can't disclose the conversations, but I've had some conversations with someone that would be considered a C-level person at Sushi, and they are seriously examining what they're building, right? And how they structure Sushi going forward because of the chaos that's kind of happened in the last few weeks. And so yesterday, Daniel basically was proposing, and I don't know if there was like interaction he had with the core devs at Sushi or what, but he was basically proposing that he wanted to jump in to Sushi and start helping. I got to tell you, on one hand, I don't want him distracted, but on the other hand, somebody like him driving Sushi forward with his brilliant ideas and his already great projects with a platform that already exists on the largest number of chains of any DEX, that's a really powerful combo. That's a pretty powerful combo.
No, it is. Because look, Sushi Swap, in addition to being an exchange, they have all the yield farming pools. So it's a DeFi player, but it's sort of missing. I just am thinking out loud here, but some combination of what, the rebase protocols are doing and Sushi Swap and what they do sounds pretty intriguing to me.
Sure. Dude, like having time being on the Sushi platform, please.
Well, and also, think of all the stuff you could do if you could. What is the staked token of time? Is it S Memo? Or what is it?
Yeah, W Memo.
W Memo.
No. Yeah, no, just Memo. Memo is the stake token you get. W Memo is the wrap version.
Okay, so let me think of any of the let's think about any of these where you have the staked one. Yield farming on Sushi Swap with somehow the stake token, so you still get the rebasing on the platform, but then you also capture yield over there, kind of like how Curve does it with all those stake tokens and different pools. There's something really cool there that I'm sure he's thinking about.
Oh, I'm sure. All that power, that community, that's an awesome community. They're dedicated, they're building, they're cranking every day. It's very similar in its passion to the Olympus DAO community, right? Yep. I think the Olympus DAO community is a little more serious, a little more tech savvy, but that's just an overview gut feeling. But ultimately, it could be a massive play.
Yeah, no, they've obviously had their issues. I've been on, who was the guy that was brought in to traditionalize them or whatever, the one who just left?
Joseph
Loring? Loring,
no,
maybe?
It's
LLR?
L, but it's
okay.
I can't believe I
well,
can't
that guy.
Hold on.
I've kind of been in that role sometimes when people, startups and they're going and all of a sudden they want to they want to systemize it, and you come in and all of a sudden you're kind of the dickhead and everybody else there is like, oh my God, the culture's changing. So I can see that from both perspectives.
Sure.
When you're trying to mature something, I always think you hit these inflection points at like 3 million in revenue and 8 and 15, where you've got to scale infrastructure up. and it kind of takes all the multiple hat wearing out of the equation, and all the fun when it was like 3 people and everybody was doing everything. But it's kind of that going concern thing. Like, if you leave for 2 weeks, does the company keep running?
Yeah.
And early stage, no, it falls apart. You got to be there all the time. So it's a tough one to be in. I think this Sesta might be a more interesting addition to that mix.
Totally agree.
That stays truer to the original sushi culture. But at the same time, I think with these rebase things, you kind of add levels of infrastructure support that, we're trying to get with the traditional guys, but they really, it's not what you really want.
Yeah, but here's the question. So here's the weird thing, right? I interviewed Maki, very humble, very group-oriented, community-oriented leader, right? And he brought in Joseph DeLong to try to, make him more adult.
Yeah,
in their structure. And you're right. I mean, it led to resentment among the team who had been freely doing whatever the fuck they wanted, and they were producing. I mean, that's something that needs to be remembered. Like, they beat this year, they beat all of their by the end of this year goals within the first 6 months of the year of what they were going to build and deploy. So the only thing that's had problems is Show You, and that's been delayed, but otherwise everything else they delivered on. So you kind of ask yourself, yes, I think they're
fix it. If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Yeah. I mean, and this is something that, here's the other thing. How are they hiring? The number one way he told me they were hiring, somebody would put together a proposal to develop something for the platform. They would get, why is Alexa talking to me? Oh, they would propose a project. Sushi would pay them 20 grand or whatever it was that they proposed as what they needed. Hold on a second. Alexa, stop.
Shut the fuck up, Alexa.
Shut the fuck up. And then if they proved themselves, delivered a great project, put it out there, the community loved it, and the community voted to approve it, then they would ask them to join the core team. And that's how they did it. They had people in a meritocracy proving themselves. And the community was building a lot of shit. So I think, look, I think you have to build processes and a flow, but I'm not sure that the processes that were being proposed fit where the community was, and it was too much all at once. But here's the question. Danielle, is running this all by himself, right? I mean, there are devs, but it's his ego, his vision, him deciding where the treasury goes. The DAO does not have control over these projects yet. Mm-hmm. Can his ego and drive balance with the community? Are we just creating another problem? And I don't know the answer to that. And he may be fully willing and wanting to have a full-on DAO. He's very much community-oriented. He does the Frog Nation stuff. So he may very much want to have that atmosphere. I just don't know him personally to say yes or no, he's a good fit. So,
yeah, no, I haven't spoken to him either. I think culturally it sounds like it's a good fit.
Culturally much better fit than someone from
a traditional
side.
Finance person.
People are piling back in. The APY's coming down. Let me see. So evidently, according to Daniel, time was mentioned today too at the hearing.
Oh,
that's why we're seeing the dump. Everybody is these fucking weak ass paper hands. It's like, do you think the SEC is coming into the servers right now, people? I mean, what the fuck?
Look, man, they can't even figure. They can't get at this.
Yeah, but no, they can't touch it. But here's the thing: over the last 2 weeks, the last week, time has dropped. 40-45%, whatever it was. So what the fuck are you doing selling now? It's just.
Yeah. No, I sold at 9,500.
Did you invest in this, not understanding how the APY works when people dump out of it? I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go back in. I mean, this is a huge.
Please,
good price.
I'm stacked pretty deep right now on time and memo. I'm excited. I'm just like fucking.
Man, when this is going to roll back up to the 10 range, 9,500 easily.
Yeah,
in my mind, they just do when these things cycle. And by the time it does that, you're going to have triple the number of time or whatever in your wallet than you started with.
Yeah.
See, that's what everybody forgets is this keeps adding.
Yeah.
So then when you get your next run up, then you have the hard choice. You know, do you take profits then, or do you take some profits? I mean,
yeah, I think, look, I think you take off a little profit, you take off your principal, and then you let it ride because you're printing fucking money. That's how I treat it.
Yeah, and then when it cycles up and down, you take a little more profit because it's always reaccumulating for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, I don't, you know, I mean, this is one of the top rebase projects out there in my mind.
Yeah.
It's in the top 5, I would
Definitely.
say.
Look, it's Olympus. For me, it's Olympus Time, Klima. And then, you know, I kind of look at the others. I'm not doing much. I still am holding that Snowbank. And they've had a nice day. They've been up. They're up 25% today.
What's it at, price?
Snowbank, 434.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, I keep looking to think, well, should I just dump this and plow it into like Unis now or
I
Fortress?
thought that too.
But, you know, then I keep looking at it, just keeps adding more to it. And I keep kind of coming back to the fact, no, I just need to sit on this.
Dude, when they launch lending, I might buy more.
Yeah. Oh, they are. That's right. They are doing the
They're launching the integrated lending. And I've been really impressed with their Discord with how these guys are trying to recover from that mass. I love a project and a company that's fucked up massively and is recovering because they are attentive. They are detail oriented.
What was their big?
That was Snowdog.
Oh, Snowbank.
Snowdog. Yeah. All right, I got to run, buddy.
Yeah, me too.
I got to go take 3 stray cats to get fucking neutered. So that's my day, my afternoon.
Just make sure you don't get in that line. Maybe your wife's tricking you, buddy.
Nah, there's no babies coming here. We took care of her in the last C-section, so she volunteered for that. We were done after 2.
For her, huh?
Yeah, we were done. Although, if she could adopt 4 or 5 babies, she would right now.
Yeah, no, I that's what is so cool about women to me, the nurturing aspect and the nest building. I mean, it drives me friggin' crazy sometimes, but at the same time, I totally respect it, and it's complementary to the way we are. And so, as my dad
and let's
always
thank
says,
our reporter in the field, Trading Edge, today, man.
Yeah.
He was all over it today, giving us the great comments, bringing it in, and encouraging the F-bombs. So
I like
fucking
that
nice
too.
job, Trading Edge. Fucking great.
You're a fucking
Thanks,
player,
man.
bro.
Everybody have a great day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for telling your friends and sharing. We're growing. We're having a great time. Thanks so much. Trading Edge, thank you. He said, good show, gents. Got to run. Look forward to the regular cadence.
Hey, also, let's go through that queue later today on all the stuff people have sent us and just kind of start working through that, okay?
Yep. Sounds good, buddy. Take
Bye,
care.
everyone. Cheers.
Bye, everybody. Holy shit.